Hey everybody, it's Qcknd and welcome back to 5 Fact Friday. 2 weeks in a row. We are very excited to be here together, you and I, and 5 Fact Friday. It's been a really cool week. Not really, not cool at all. I actually had a really hard week, but some of you guys know that Dana, you remember her, she blessed us with this salon today and got this week a total transformation. She cut off 6 inches of hair. She got micro bangs, just totally crazy that someone would let me completely change their look up 1000%. But it was really great seeing her. But this week, I'm sure all of us have had a really, really difficult week, and coping has been really, really hard. And I had a hard time making videos all week. I went home, I skipped Tattoo Talk Tuesday, I spent time with my grandparents and my brother and just wanted to be with people I loved. Right, Ethan? And now it's time for me to be with you guys as well. So that's why 5 Fact Friday is coming up this week. So many people message me on Snapchat and in life and say all the things, just listening to you talk is reassuring and hearing your experiences is reassuring, and I say it a lot. Sometimes just someone or something that normalizes the way that you live every day can be so reassuring, and we all want and benefit from representation, so we're all here together. Some of you guys know that I struggle with depression and anxiety. It's not something that I try to talk about too much on my channel. I put it out there a little bit for you guys to pick up if you're interested. Just because I don't talk about it too much, just because my depression and anxiety is untreated. I do not seek help for it. I live with it every day, and I am unmedicated, and I don't have a therapist, and I don't want to promote or romanticize this lifestyle because I don't think that it works for everybody. I don't even think that it works for me, but I've talked about it in other videos. Sometimes feeling my absolute worst and hitting rock bottom and just crawling through the dirt and the mud is the only thing that can help me and make me okay. So I need to be able to channel those feelings, and I need to be able to reach out to them and experience them in full force. And I can't be medicated. I can't sacrifice having a lifeline to those feelings. And I don't think that works for everybody. I don't recommend it if you can't. I mean, I can't, but that's just how I have to live. I'm not out here promoting that. I think it's fucked up, but I get too nervous when those feelings aren't there. I have to have them. I have to be able to contact them and be with them. Anyway, 5 Fact Friday. 5 Fact Friday is gonna be super exciting. I got a question on my Tumblr from someone who said that they have been getting tattooed by this one person and they're starting to develop feelings for them, and they were wondering what they should do. Should they pursue the feelings and risk sacrificing the tattoos, or what they should do? And I guess I wanted to share my experience, and I didn't want to make this an episode of the X-Files because I have dated 2 tattoo artists, and I don't want to put all that information on blast. There are people who come onto my YouTube channel and get really excited that there is some sort of guessing game and they want to guess everybody, and I just can't risk that. I have to be able to live every day and be comfortable, and the internet is a really tight-knit place and we all know everything about each other. So if you're wondering why there hasn't been any new episodes of the X-Files, I would just say that it makes me really nervous that people are trying to guess who these people are and say their comments or say their names out in the comments. Or even in my 3 tattoo artists or 3 tattoos I was refused video, I came out and said, like, with all due respect, I don't want to mention the tattoo artist's name because I don't want to get in trouble or risk my personal safety. And there are still comments I have to delete every day of people guessing tattoo artists' names and tagging them in the video. And I'm like, do you want me to get hurt? Do you want something bad to happen to me? So, no names here, because I think that, I don't know, it might be easy to guess, and I don't want any trouble, and these men are living lives without me, and I'm living lives without them, and that's totally fine. But I've dated 2 tattoo artists. No names, no guessings. And both times, I mean, I don't want to say I was in love, but it's totally romantic, and I have this thing where I kind of like fall in love with the people who tattoo me and the people who modify me, but it's not like a romantic love. It definitely has a lot to do with admiration and feeling like I'm being taken care of, and probably the same feelings that people have for their doctors and nurses and therapists and stuff like that. But because I don't have access to that world, this is kind of the world I live in. The first tattoo artist I ever dated, I was gonna make this an episode of the X-Files because it was kind of kooky, and then it just never happened because I don't want people to find his Instagram. So I was being tattooed by this guy for a while, and my ex-boyfriend used to come with me to get tattooed, and then when that didn't work, my next tattoo appointment came up. I'm being tattooed, and the guy asks me, "Hey, where's that guy?" And I was like, "Oh, you know, he's not gonna be coming to my tattoo appointments anymore." He was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, right on, okay." So we finished the tattoo, and he was like, "So how about you give me your phone number?" And I was like, "Why?" He was like, "You know, so I can see how the tattoo heals." And I was like, "Okay." So I went to the front and like kind of finished up the paperwork I needed to, whatever. And then he was like, "Don't forget to give me your phone number." Cause like I kind of wanted to. I was kind of nervous about whatever was about to happen. And then I gave him my phone number. We hung out a couple times. At the time I was straight edge, and he definitely did try to pressure me into like drinking. We hung out on New Year's, and I remember him saying like, "It's New Year's, you're not gonna drink on New Year's?" And I actually like, oh my god. If you guys have followed me on Tumblr for like a fucking decade, I actually went into the bathroom and recorded myself like giving myself like a pep talk like, "We got this, we don't have to break straight edge because some hottie is trying to influence us." So I didn't break edge, but there were definitely times like that where I was like, oh man, like this guy was so gorgeous and this guy was so talented, and now he's like pressuring me to drink, which is weird. And back then I was just like, oh no thank you. But if it would have happened today, I would have been like, don't you fucking tell a woman to drink when she doesn't want to. But you know, that was then, so I just said no thanks, ha. And then after that, we hung out less and less. His apartment was like near the bus stop that I used to take the bus to school. So it was kind of just like, I don't know if I'm vibing with this guy anymore, but wow, is it easy to get to school in the morning. And then we were hanging out one night, and I really think like all the allure of like being tattooed by him and him being like so cool, like all that allure kind of left. And for a while I was really worried, like, did I just soil all these tattoos that I got from this guy just because like I wanted to hang out with him and because he showed interest in me? And then I felt weird, like, oh, all those times he was like tattooing me, was he like checking me out? So all those feelings turned really sour and really weird. And there was one night where he was like taking a phone call, and he got like really weird. He was all about like tattoo, like I don't know, like, being a tattoo artist was like this whole different lifestyle. And on the phone, I remember he was like, something like that, you get your hands broken for that. And I was like, yikes, like, I'm doing my homework, okay? I go to community college, can you keep it down? After that one night where he was on the phone saying all that weird shit, I woke up really early the next morning and I wrote him a little letter and stuck it to his mirror and just like cut him off. And I remember it was a haiku, and I wish I still had it. I'd like wrote a short story about my experience with him. One day I'll put out a zine, I swear, because that short story definitely deserves some light. The other tattoo artist I dated, that was a shit show too. And same thing, like, got tattooed by him first, and then he showed interest. And I was like, were you checking me out? Were you wiping my skin a little extra? Were those healing pictures full body? So, in my experience, like, dating tattoo artists, I feel like kind of sucked, but it wasn't really too much different than, like, dating dudes and just, like, dating some bad dudes. And they're tattoo artists, so, like, I feel like maybe I'm more inclined to meet them or something like that, because that is, like, my social circle. And being, like, a tattooed woman, I feel like sometimes I appeal more to tattooed people. But even the, like, second tattoo artist I dated, I remember I got my... I can't say too much. So I got a tattoo, and I remember I hung out with him afterwards, and he was like, oh, like, I'll clean it for you. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. You clean tattoos all the time, sure. And he was, like, critiquing my tattoo. And I remember being like, you're short, so why don't you shut up? Really, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Wow, let me check the bus schedule, motherfucker. But that's, I mean, I also used to have a hard time dating, and dudes being dudes, I think, was one of, like, my biggest turnoffs. And I'm so happy that I have a boyfriend, because I don't want to date anymore. Because all that was crazy. So, honestly, the tattoos that I received from these men while I was dating them, I feel fine having them and wearing them, whether I still have them or not, and whether they are in their original form or not. It doesn't really matter to me, because I just think that these dudes were just, like, total goofballs, and whatever I was trying to do, just whatever. Shame on me, I guess, for replying or giving out my phone number, I guess. Shouldn't have done that. Honestly though, I feel like it was all in good fun. As weird as they ended up being, I can laugh about it and laugh at myself. My next question on here, this is like a little, I guess you can't like tell that this is like a little cute shirt. It's like making my face really orange in comparison. And then I got this today. Hey, I just got a tattoo yesterday. I love it, but I feel regret today. Not because of the design, but how much it cost. Have you ever felt this way? I would say there have definitely been times where I shouldn't have got a tattoo. And even today, there's a record shop right by my house who is celebrating the release of Radiohead's latest album on vinyl. And I went to the record shop just because I love Radiohead. And I was talking to the guy, and I don't have a vinyl collection. And I was just like, I wouldn't have all these tattoos if I had a vinyl collection. It's like one or the other. So there have definitely been times in my life where I was like, if I didn't have all these tattoos, I might have a car. I might have a laptop. I might have health insurance. So, like, as a whole, I've definitely experienced, like, financial questioning of my decisions because of my tattoos. And there have probably been times where I've experienced immediate regret just because I got tattoos at a time where it probably would have been smarter to pay my car insurance or pay a bill. But now in 2016, I have a lot more of a structured system that goes in place for affording tattoos. And it's way different than 5 years ago, of course. It's way different than 2 years ago. It's way different than last year. Every year, just from my own experience and practices, I can afford things better. But there were definitely times when I couldn't, and let's let this police officer ride by. But instead of regret, I think I always felt very satiated after being tattooed and putting that money into something that would last on me forever. And I've explored this before on this channel, and I'll kind of repeat myself now. When I first started getting tattooed, it was at a time where I was very financially devastated. I was just put on my own, and my financial independence was only really in place because I was supporting myself. I wouldn't really call it like I was financially independent. It was more just like I had to financially keep myself afloat or I'll die. Not die. I wouldn't have died. But it was at a time where I had to sell everything I thought I loved and anything that was worth any value. I was putting anything I could on Craigslist, and I met a lot of freaking weird Craigslist people in this time of my life. And this was a great time for me to receive tattoos because I felt like anything that came into my life that was worth value would one day leave me because of needing to stay alive and needing to support myself, needing to get gas money so I could go to school, textbooks, anything. I think that anything that was worth any money to me that I had acquired from birth until age 18, I had sold in order to just function. And getting tattooed in that time period meant something permanent that no one could take away from me and that I couldn't take away from myself in desperation. And although that sounds contradictory, like, don't you wish you could have sold things, or maybe you shouldn't have got that tattoo so you could buy textbooks or gas money or a bag of rice? And like, yeah, totally. But at that time, there was no satisfaction in my life, and there was nothing else. There was just me as the only constant in my life, my physical body. So getting tattoos meant I could carry them with me. And I remember I would watch like jail shows on TV, and I'm sorry to compare my life to jail because that's fucked up. It's not jail. I'm thinking about The Office. So my life isn't jail, but I remember thinking, like, I would watch these jail shows and the prisoners would have tattoos, and I remember thinking, if I am ever stripped of everything that belongs to me, everything in my life, my 98 Monte Carlo, my braces, my clothing, my well-being, my first apartment, the only thing I'll have left is my limbs, my legs, my organs, my body, my physical flesh. And I remember getting tattooed so I would always have something. So there have been times where financially I was probably severely incapable of paying for the tattoos that I had, but it was my only lifeline, and there was definitely no regret on receiving the tattoo, but probably I love you. So my camera just shut off. Sorry about that. I think my memory card is full. I've been filming all these little bits and pieces of videos that I have to put together, and would you help me film something later?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah, what are you gonna film?
I need... Well, I want it to be on my bike.
Okay.
But...
You can, if the gas tank gets here, you can film me fucking doing that.
Oh, John's waiting for a new gas tank for the Bronco to come in the mail. And who knew you could get these things delivered in the mail? I guess John knew.
I gotta find a container to put my old gas in. Because it's still good gas, and I need it in the truck.
Oh my god, John.
Also,
No one can hear you.
I cracked it driving through a river.
You cracked your gas tank driving through a river?
I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was already cracked.
I don't know. I think it was probably
I thought
rusty.
it was already cracked.
I think it was probably rusty and shook itself loose.
Ethan's wearing makeup. Boys can wear makeup too. Boy cats. Okay, well, since I can't delete anything else, I guess, off of my memory card until I put these videos together, and because I don't want to put too much stuff on John's computer.
You can put whatever you want on it. It doesn't matter.
This will be the end of today's 5 Fact Friday. Stay tuned for the video I've been hinting at. I think that will come out later this weekend if John helps me today. And until next week, I have Tattoo Talk Tuesday right in here in the brain. So definitely stay tuned for that. Sorry about the week hiatus. Let us all spend time with the people that we love. I love you guys, and until next time, bye. Hey everybody, it is Qqcknd, and welcome back to Tattoo Talk Tuesday. Thanks for all the warm regards from last week's episode.